What's up, everyone? So I decided to see what was up with BO2 in 2021. There's actually apparently two different versions of this game on PC. There's a community-made version, which is supposed to be better because there are anti-cheat systems and stuff in place. And then there's the original version, which is what I'm playing in the background. 8 to 9 years ago, I was very good at this game, but it seems as though my magic has disappeared. I'm only using this gameplay purely for your nostalgia purposes. I just wanted to set that expectation for you guys. Don't anticipate me to drop a 30 streak or something. Also, last week's video got delayed by 5 days. I was supposed to upload it on Monday, but it wasn't under my control. I'm hoping that I can get back to my normal upload schedule, but anyways, let's get into the video for today. Now, I think everybody should agree with me when I make this statement. I say some things that people may not agree with, but I think that we can all come together here. Not everyone should be allowed to be a parent. None of us asked to be born, and none of us have a say on who our parents are gonna be. We don't get to make these choices. It's really life's biggest game of luck if you think about it. You have people who are born into a billionaire's family, and some people are born and thrown in the trash, quite literally. It's very, very sad stuff. That's why we should have some sort of test that people must pass if they want to become a parent. Some people are bums. They grew up licking windows and eating crayons. No kid needs that type of person as a parent. So today's story is just messed up on so many levels, to say the least. I really wish that I didn't come across it, but here we are. These kids deserved way better. So in 1992, a woman by the name of Brittany Pilkington was born in the state of Ohio. I guess the milk was running low, so her dad went out to buy some and never came back. So another man entered her life instead. His name is Joseph Pilkington, and he was dating Brittany's mom. So I guess he was her father figure growing up, so to speak. Joseph Pilkington assumed a dominant parental role in this girl's household and supported her by providing living expenses, food, and shelter, according to Thursday's indictment. He also presented himself as Brittany's father when taking her to medical appointments as a child and at the school she attended, the indictment said. Now, somewhere in this timeline, some Sweet Home Alabama type shit happened, and Joseph began a romantic relationship with Brittany. She must have been in her early to mid teenage years, and he was probably in his late 20s, early 30s, if my math is correct. And the worst part was that Brittany's mom, quote, was not bothered when he took up with her daughter instead. A real thumbs up to Brittany's mom. I might even say parent of the year. This is why crackheads should not have kids. As a parent, you should not be allowing your 15-year-old daughter to be dating a grown man. I thought that was common knowledge, but I guess in this clown world that we live in, these things need to be spelled out. I really overestimated our intelligence as human beings. Now, when Brittany was 17, she ended up having her first kid, and over the years, she continued to have kids, so she ended up with 3 boys and 1 girl. This is very important to the story. She did indeed have a daughter. Now, according to Logan County prosecutor, quote, in her mind, she was protecting her daughter from being not as loved as the boys were by their father. Now, this lady is about as sharp as a fucking marble, so I'm not entirely sure if we can trust her word, and it's very hard to prove this statement unless there's undeniable evidence that the dad just completely forgot that he had a daughter. So because Brittany felt that her daughter was not getting enough attention, she got very jealous and angry, and she decided to take this anger out not on the husband, but on her 3 boys. And these kids were all below the age of 5. 2 of them were not even a year old. These poor kids didn't even have the ability to talk or walk, let alone defend themselves, which makes this story all the worse. According to WBNS, Brittany Pilkington said in a recorded police interview that she smothered each boy with a blanket because she didn't want to see them suffering. Pilkington reportedly told police she was depressed and worried her sons would eventually become abusive toward women. Let that statement just resonate with you for a second. Over a period of time, this didn't happen all at once. Each kid was killed on a different day. Brittany walked up to each son and just put a blanket over their face to prevent them from breathing. And these aren't 15, 16-year-old kids who can at least throw hands and attempt to protect themselves. These kids probably thought mom was coming over to give them a little bedtime story, but this terrible thing happened instead. Each time she put a blanket over the faces of her sons until they stopped breathing. She waited for her husband, Joseph, to find them when he returned home from his second shift job. She said she didn't tell her husband what she had done because she was scared. Pilkington has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder in the deaths of Niall, Gavin, and Noah. She told investigators she did it because her husband paid more attention to the boys than he did to their daughter. So because this woman thought that her not even 1-year-old kids were gonna grow up and not be some kind of fucking male feminists, she decided she was gonna end their lives. And each time she waited for the dad to come home so he can see his child just laying on the bed lifeless. Investigators initially chalked up Niall's death as unexplained, but Gavin's death sparked both a criminal and a children's services investigation that was still underway when Noah was born. So Noah and Haley were removed from the home. Logan County Family Court judge, however, eventually ordered the 2 children returned to their parents. 1 week later, Noah was dead. Ohio Attorney General, whose office helped prosecute the case, said in a statement, quote, "A guilty plea cannot undo the heartless acts that this woman committed against defenseless children. She does not deserve to be called mom, but locking her up will at least guarantee she won't be able to repeat this evil." Now, the other person that needs to be talked about is, of course, the daughter. She is going to grow up without 3 of her brothers. Both her parents are complete failures, straight sorry excuses of human beings. Remember, the dad is a complete weirdo himself. Her surviving daughter is currently being cared for in a foster home. One of her caretakers read a statement in court saying that whenever she gets scared, the girl, now 8, talks to her brothers and believes her brothers are watching over her now. This is not something any 8-year-old should experience. She should not have these types of memories growing up. Your childhood should be a time filled with good memories, not whatever happened here. And children living in foster care, when they grow up, tend to be more at risk for unemployment. They tend not to even graduate high school. There are a lot of developmental issues these kids go through, and my hope is that this girl is able to play her cards right and be successful when she grows up. So this is what I mean when I say that being a parent should not be regarded as a right, especially if you have some kind of brain damage. The last thing that you should be doing is taking care of someone else. As I said before, these kids did not ask to be born. They did not choose these 2 idiots as their parents, and therefore it's not right for them to suffer consequences for something that they didn't even want to be a part of. And the reasoning for committing this act is just so ridiculous. My head actually hurts. The woman didn't want her sons to grow up and women, so she turns around and does something even worse. Please help me make sense of this, and let's not let Brittany's mom off the hook either. She is certainly the reason why all of this happened in the first place. A responsible mom would have kicked that man out of the house immediately, not allow him to do whatever he did to her daughter. So the mom should be punished for enabling this type of behavior. At least justice was served. Brittany will be behind bars for a very long time. Sometimes I just wish that I lived on the island from SpongeBob and just stared at the sky all day, not having to read this type of bullshit. I only covered these types of stories because they never seem to show up in the mainstream. I only tend to see a man did this and a man did that. This type of news just gets buried and suppressed, or it might make it onto a headline for about 5 seconds. You can take a guess as to why that's happening, but anyways, I hope you guys got some throwback vibes watching the gameplay. It was rough. I might actually get the community made BO2. Even still, I actually had fun playing the original version. I hope they remaster this game because I would be willing to pay quite a lot of money to play it, and I feel like I'm not the only one who feels this way. Definitely one of the best games to have ever been made. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links are down in the description below. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See you guys in the next video. Peace.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that